What's up, Rockstars? Today I'm unboxing a very highly anticipated game. I'm excited to show it off. I'm excited to see it. I've seen images and it looks really, really good, so let's dive in. As always, I'd like to start out with a quick thank you to my YouTube members and Patreon members. Without their financial support, all of this stuff would not be possible. This channel is all thanks to them, so thank you so much for financially supporting so that I don't have to rely on the game companies for money while I'm busy reviewing them. All right, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get to cutting. Now, if you don't want to join, that's fine too. You don't have to join. There is free options. You can just like a video, or you can subscribe or share it, or even just a comment saying that, you know, you enjoyed the video. Helps me a lot, both emotionally and the YouTube algorithm tends to like that as well. Additionally, there is a merch store link and there is an Amazon link down there you can also take a look at if you so please. All right, I think we're through. All right. Safety first. Ta-da! All right, we got pretty much all the Fantasy Brawl, all the super that we could want. I love this packaging, by the way. I'm so glad to see this become more and more standard. Okay, so we got a whole bunch of bases here, just black and white. And then we got some very, very cool sleeves. Look at that. That just looks nice. I like that. Look at that. The sleeve kit. The sleeve kit's rated 14 plus, by the way. Then we got a box. We'll be unboxing all of these boxes. That's what you clicked on. We got a very heavy, looks stitched neoprene mat. Very crinkly. Hopefully that was closer to ASMR and less assaulting your ears. We got the Force of Nature expansion. We got, oh, this is fun, the card stadium seats. We got, oh my gosh. Oh, this is way bigger than I thought it was going to be. This is, got a quartermaster logistics sheet. All right, I can do this. I can do this. I can do it. I think I did it, guys. Oh, wow. Okay, this is a big box. All right. There we go. Move that aside. And there is the box. Let's go ahead and dive into this. All right, you know what? Let's go ahead and look at the doodads before we dive into the big box. If nothing else, so I can get them off of my table. And they'll go quick. So we'll go like rapid fire on these. As rapid fire as I can get. Let me get out of the camera. Oh, you're gonna stay right there. That's fine. All right, here's a leaflet. All right, let's take a look at these. This is fun. This is cool. I really appreciate, oh, this cardboard, 14 plus, by the way. I really like good table presence and just, you know, kind of a thematic setting and all that. So having any kind of 3D elements like this is just a bonus for me. Now, if you notice right there as I'm opening it, wait, where's my stick? Where's my stick? Hold on, guys. Got my stick. All right. Zoom in a little bit here. I'll show you what I'm looking at. So right as I'm opening this, do you see that right there? I just kind of started peeling away. Like it literally just did that. I'll go and put that back on there. But that's slightly worrisome there. But maybe it's just unlucky. All right. Let's go ahead and zoom back in. And try not to break anything while opening it. I'm trying to be careful. That's what I want to claim why it takes so long to open anything. If you guys are new to this at all, I normally struggle to unbox. I'm a professional, really, and I'm just being modest. I do this for a living, as you can tell. That sounded funny. And I got the angry cat noises. There, as you can see, yeah, I'm good at what I do. Okay, so if I can hold it right side up, let's just punch them out. I'm not going to worry about building too much yet here. Just want to see kind of the quality. Okay, so right away, I'm not seeing any tags. There is a little bit of swelling here. Press down on that. You can definitely see the layers. Zoom in again. You guys know how this works. There you go. So you can definitely see the layers, right? Definitely not the most compressed and even. And you hear that? So that is, remember how I say, and I don't know exactly the technology. If you know, be sure to tell me. Like seriously in the comments, let me know. Sometimes there's almost like a sealant, like a wax sealant or something like that. It's very smooth to the touch, and you don't get this. I'm sure you can hear that. The layers displaying like that. So that does worry me about longevity. That being said, nice and linen finish, which is good. And the coloration looks very cool. This is kind of drab, but you can see the color pop there, which is nice. And it is quite thick, which is good too. But I do worry about that unfinished edge. I know like Monolith, I think, will do the kind of the finish there on the pieces, on the cardboard, but they're pretty much top tier as far as I'm concerned. So normally I compare to that. I will say that this punches out incredibly well. I don't know what perforation they use, but there are no tags at all. It just kind of pops out and it's completely smooth. While not sealed, it's very crisp looking. You don't get those little tags. There's no risk of it peeling that away, at least from that, which is nice. This will be kind of interesting because there's an inner piece here. Let's see how that works. Quite hard to push out. Like bending the cardboard. Yeah, see, look at that. That is not ideal. This is actually kind of, yeah, that's unfortunate. That's what this is. There we go. And here's the linen layer that they put on there. Nice. Well, let's see if that happens again. Maybe it won't. I'll try from the corner. Try to be more. Oh no! See, it's just bending. It's so tight. It just, yeah, it's just gonna. So, oh man, see, look at this. Do you see the little shine there? That's a reflection from this starting to bubble again. So I'm gonna have to lay that flat. Cardboard. See, this is what's frustrating because they obviously paid premium for whatever cut this is, right? Because I'm sure it costs more to get it this smooth. And so it's unfortunate that that's there, and then when you punch out, you can tell what'll happen under force. This is what will happen, and that's not good. All right, I don't know how to build this thing. I'll have it in my review, of course, but just sliding this in, just trying to see. It seems pretty tight. I don't really. Oh, see, now look at that. Look at that right there. Yeah, I'll let you know in my review. I will be reviewing this, how well it stands up after a couple teardowns. I'm not going to leave this built, though. It's far too big. So we will we'll take a look at that. That was supposed to be quick, but I wasn't expecting that to be bad. So I was not expecting this. All right, moving on from that. Let's go ahead. I'm not going to worry about looking at these. Suffice it to say that they're hard. I always liked the soft ones more, the kind of rubber band ones. I know that they don't last forever, but they're much nicer on painted minis. That being said, nice and contrasty there. Okay, and that's just a board. Some sleeves and then a neoprene mat, and then we're going to get into the main box. How's that sound? That sound good? sounds fun. All right. So here's the sleeve kit. And I thought there was 2. Was there 2? There were. And then this is just extra, I guess. There we go. Focus for you there. Okay, we got a lot. We got some plain ones. We got different sets for the different people here. We got regular ones and we got tiny ones. And then more regular ones. Okay, so we just got these 4 people here. Unless there's multiple. No, it looks like that because the color is all the same. With these. Let's go ahead and look at a plain one. And then we'll look at the tiny one. And see kind of where we're at. What the? That's not how it's supposed to open. Oh, when the glue is stronger than the plastic, you get that. All right, let's see here. So definitely reflective, shiny, not matte. Some people, I prefer matte on the back when it comes to like riffle shuffling. I always prefer that. That being said, this seems quite sturdy, which is nice. Quite thick, actually. I don't know what the micron level or anything like that is on that, and that sounds way too advanced for me either. They seem nice. Some kind of discoloration on the sides there. It looks like that may have just been the top one. Yes, these are perfect, as you can see. Very slippery and shiny, though. Hopefully, when they have cards, they're not sliding around everywhere. That's kind of always a thing I worry about with sleeving a board game, is their decks aren't always meant to like be sleeved and then just sitting there sliding around everywhere. So we'll take a look at that. But these are very pretty. That is for sure. Oh, already sliding around. All right, you look at the small ones. That time, at least, the plastic held, so that's good. All right. And again, these are, oh man, they got like no right side up or wrong side up. Very interesting sleeves, how they're printed like this. I've had fancy sleeves with the printing, but never quite like this. Again, same exact thickness, and very, very sturdy. It's not like splitting on the top or anything like that. I'm not like the professor. If you've seen him from Magic the Gathering, I can't just like rip open one. That would break my soul. But I'll give it a tug. And real quick, just to see if this is any different. Okay. I don't suspect it is, but okay. There we go. Yeah, exact same. Fairly thick, slightly cloudy, as you can see, so it's not a perfect kind of clear. So we'll dim the cards a little bit, but otherwise, and then these are cool too, but I'm not going to open every single one of them. That's boring. I'm thorough, but I'm not, well, okay, maybe I'm boring. I was going to say I'm not boring, but maybe I am. I don't know. You'd have to ask my wife. All right, now, Neoprene mat. This seems very nice. So I'm excited about this. How do I open this? Right here. Right here. So, right off the bat, we got 4 of these. And again, very nice and grippy on the bottom so they don't really slide around, which is nice. I would never, let me focus on here for you. I would never buy a neoprene mat that is not stitched. It's a personal rule of mine. First of all, it's fancier. Second of all, when they're not stitched, you get that little fraying. If you have had a mouse pad that starts fraying on the edges, that is what always happens. You'll get a little bit of a fray. It'll fatten up a little bit, start peeling back, and just not look as good. This sewn end wall can kind of, frizz out. You can always cut and trim those if you really, really care, but it'll keep it nice and secure. Coloration on this is quite good. Sometimes these can be pretty dark. This is actually very nice. In fact, I believe I'm seeing it a little bit brighter than perhaps even you are. But yeah, no, this looks great. It looks like it's got the reminders here and plenty of space. And It is nice. All right, let's look at the big one. The big one. Notice there are 2 red and 2 purple. So here's, so the purple and then red. Dark orange. Amber. I don't know. All right, take a look at this. I'm actually going to have to zoom out for this one. All right, now here is the whole mat, and I must say I love the color of this. It is very, very well done. I have had some neoprene mats that did end up pretty dark, but the amount of color like right here is just really, really well. Additionally, it doesn't seem too blown up. The stitching seems quite good. It doesn't look really hash marky or anything like that, and it just has just enough give that you can press down on it, but it's not like super big or foamy. Sometimes with these skinny ones, you get a little bit of bend, and I am seeing that a little bit. You see like right here, it kind of pops up a little bit, and then right here, it pops up a little bit as well. So sometimes when they're skinny like this, the stitching especially can, I think what happens is it pulls it a little tight to where it's just kind of bowed up here a little bit. And those can kind of be hard to get rid of. That being said, these are very minimal, and that's really the only spot I guess there's one right here as well. The stitching starts and ends right here, so you can kind of get rid of the black background. You kind of see that right here. Not the most seamless, and I would almost prefer it way up in the corner versus like partially way down, but I don't know if anybody else who even cares about that. This is nice. I really like this. I feel like I can roll this up. The grip is really good. This is great. This is awesome. Let's get out of the camera. Let's open a box. All right. So, right off the front, this is great. I love the white. I'm a big fan of white space. If you see my thumbnails, you'll notice I do a lot of white space. I really prefer kind of how it makes things pop. And so I very much like kind of the white and very, almost, drawn kind of gray sketch. And then bam, Super Fantasy Brawl right up there. And then, the guy's name that I can't pronounce who designed that, good for him. It really makes this pop, and I like that. It also has this black background, or kind of this black stroke around it that I also really appreciate. And the Mythic Games just kind of up in the corner, but otherwise, that's it. Really appreciate that. It'll look nice. Over here, in the back, it shows some pre-painted miniatures. That being said, these are real miniatures and not renders. I always try to note if they're renders or miniatures, these are the real miniatures just painted, which I will accept over renders any day. I think they look better and it's more honest. And then, of course, we have the kind of little bit of blurb, no dice system, all the contents, and then a whole bunch of stuff here. It's cool that they have the Play Me on Tabletopia and then the Kickstarter exclusive. It's kind of ironic because a lot of this seems like it'd be really good, like, at a store where you're like, oh, I could play this on Tabletopia and then come back and buy it. But anyway, it is cool though that even in like, COVID times and stuff like that, that they have the Tabletopia available. Game trays, again, everything in this is 14 plus, and then of course some of the just kind of the various content there. All right, let's go ahead and open it up. All right, let's try and open this and not damage it. Now, one thing I think is kind of interesting, and I don't typically see this, but the box itself, the lid already doesn't quite fit on all the way. Do you see that? Already, there's a little bit of lip here that kind of pokes out. And I don't know if it's just from the package. I mean, we'll have to open it up and see, but that is quite interesting. Also, if you'll notice, there's a little bit of space here and here around the corner. So it's like it's really flush here, and then it kind of bows out. This might just be from the wrapping. Again, we'll see, but it's very interesting. I've not really noticed that on the bottom of a box before, a board game box, that it's all compressed and popping out. All right, let's see here. Well, this opened up nice, so that's good. The plastic here, by the way, is like really, really good stuff. Like that's nice plastic. I like that. It's not obnoxiously thick. I've had some that are actually really, really thick, but this is like just what I would like to see. Now, there is a little bit of damage here, but that's probably just from shipping or even me banging it around. Who knows? Who knows? All right, now for the hard part. I always get to this point, and I know I should avoid it. There we go. That came off quite easily. Okay, now with that off, I just want to flip it back over. Take a look. And as you can see, there's still this little gap here. Maybe this is to allow it to, maybe it's on purpose. So that some air can get there, because these big boxes, like this box is really thick, can sometimes be really hard to push down. But I'm not hearing a lot of give in there, so that's good, especially vertical. Alright, that's still, that wasn't me, that was a box. That's still pretty difficult. But wow, okay, already a good presentation. That being said, now it's a better presentation. That's okay though, I'll forgive them. Okay, rulebook. You know how this works? You know stuffed crust pizza, that's rulebooks. You go to the back and you go from there. Look at this. Look at this. Whew. It's got an index, guys. All is well. Look at that. In alphabetical order. Look at all the pages action cards are on. Look at all the pages allies are on. Do we have a record more than 4 pages? It looks like it's up to 4. Maybe that was... Oh, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Challenge track. 6 times that's mentioned. Can you imagine having to try and find all 6 of those mentions? My goodness. And then you have this over here. They're keywords, which is also quite nice that you get, you know, kind of a bloodied, controlled, dash X, double, draw X, fear X. And what's nice again is it's in alphabetical order. So far, this is already quite nice. I like the color. I like that it's not white. First of all, it tends to show up better in camera, but really, it's just, I think, easier on the eyes. I know I just said I like white space, but for a rulebook, I kind of like a little bit of color. And it just makes it seem a little bit nicer. Looks like they have quite a lot of nice big symbols here, maybe not too many. They're smaller over here. They use, and Mythic is really good at this, different colors in their headers. So let me make sure this is absolutely in focus for you guys. In fact, we can probably zoom in here soon. But this kind of coloration that they do is really, really nice. They'll even put it like in here or in here to kind of highlight it. It is kind of odd that it's like light on light, but it works. And then of course they have the call out boxes and notes right in the middle there, and you know, just making sure that you're, see, here's another note that. Very consistent. I don't know who they have, who their technical writer is, but I'm quite pleased with that. I've also only noticed English, so that's good. Here we are going all capitals. That's interesting. So again, I think a lot of times this kind of stuff comes out from playtesting, where they're like, we need to have a call out there, and they're like, well, what do we do? And you know, maybe they didn't have room for a note that section, but all this is really, really good. This is going to be a good read, I think. This is nice. I love seeing the entire play area set up. That's always helpful. And then noting everything that's there. That's good. Again, component lists with pictures and words are very helpful, so that I know that when you're talking about, let's say, a destruction magic versus a creation magic, I know what the difference is, because I've already seen this. I will actually go and just kind of look it over briefly, and then I'll flip back to this as I'm reading the rulebook quite often. I don't typically use it after knowing the game, but for learning the game, this is hugely beneficial. I really enjoy that. Even if you're being obnoxious, like, well, this is the rulebook, that's fine. That's like better more than less. I do like that. This is kind of interesting. I'm not actually sure what that's. What a 4-player overlay, 3 statue miniature. I don't know what that's really showing. That's kind of interesting. Then we have the contents. That's not an index. It's just the headers and then credits here and an introduction. That is great. Thumbs up for me on the rules. That's super nice. Okay, next up we have, as you can see, these different trays, which is super awesome. Now, as somebody who's mildly colorblind, these are looking the same color. Maybe this is darker. Is this a purple and this a blue? I'm not actually sure. Maybe not. Maybe there's just a lot of blue. This looks the same. And then there's just a single stack of yellow and... Alright, well... Oh my gosh, that's all this is. It's just... more and more trays. This is impressive, to say the least, because you just take out exactly what you need. Wow. Uh-oh, we got 3 in here. We're not consistent. Okay. Wow. Alright. And then we have the boxes. Let's go ahead and move these aside. I know you want to look at them. Trust me, I do too. But I'd like to get this box off my table. Hey, guess what? The lids hold. Ask me how I found that out. Okay. We got more tokens. Oh, see, here's that thing again. I'm just going to quickly kind of... They punch out. Fantastic. Again, almost no tag. A tiny little bit right at the top and the bottom. And that's literally it. Where the heck did that go? Hello? There you are. Yeah, no, these punch out great. And not a whole lot of tokens, if you notice. Okay, then we have the game board. I will not be using this because I have a great neoprene mat, so I'm just going to leave that right there. Well, no, I'll look at it because you may have not gotten a neoprene mat. All right. So looking at here, I'm seeing it's all fairly consistent, but again, it's that kind of unadorned. That's actually a rough cut. Do you see how almost kind of rough that is? Clean, and then just a little bit rough. Maybe I can zoom in and show you. There you go. Do you see that kind of just general rough, like right here? There's a little bit, just a little rough around the edges. It comes to this one. There's another little bit here. Compared to this side, that got a nice clean cut. All right. Oh, look at the back. See, they never show you the back, but look at that. That looks nice. That's nice. I like it. I like it. Very cool. Very nice. Let's go ahead and take a look real quick at the glue. So you can see right here where it's glued. And then it's this very nice straight line. It even guides my sticker or my pointer. And then you can see the other line right here. Maybe it's a little pretty dark for you. There you go. I can get it in the light. Right there's the other line. Very well glued. So I'm happy with that. And really, that's all there is about that. Then we have this, and because I just noticed it, right here, you'll see there's that little lip. Do you see that? And you see how I can pull that away? So sometimes, and the problem with that, sometimes you can get in there and kind of do it, but not, I mean, a lot of times you just got to do it right the first time. When you're pulling stuff out, like when I'm pulling this out, I might get it caught. Do you see how I can get caught on that? That's why I point that out. I know a lot of you guys call me weird, and that's fine, but that is really annoying. I like those corners to be very nicely glued in there. And in fact, it's probably never going to glue right again. This one's pretty good. That one's bad. Let's see, right here we got one that looks like it already kind of got nicked. And this one's pretty good too. So this side's pretty good, this side's not. Another interesting thing, this is just such a, look at this. So you got this little gap here. You can tell where the box formed itself. So this little lip put in here, and so I can stick it in there. You can stick it in there. Very interesting. I've never noticed that in a box. Are all boxes like that? I see right here too. So you can see kind of the little lip in here. Very, very interesting. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. These are the player boards. I'll open them just to kind of take a quick look at them. But again, I got the neoprene version of them, which is quite nice. So far, that has definitely been the highlight. That and the lids that stay locked in. I was really glad to see that, and it already paid off. I would have made a mess otherwise, so it's nice to see that. All right, come on. There we are. Okay, now I'm going to open this, and I'm going to punch one out and then put it right back in because I don't actually need this. Okay, so this actually, unlike a lot of the other stuff, does have a little bit of tags. 3 of them to be precise. And then, of course, 3 on that side as well. None on the side. Looks like maybe on the corners. Yep, on the corners as well. And again, you get that kind of rough edge as well. That being said, very, like nothing's bendy. Everything's straight. Everything's nice and thick. So I appreciate all that. And look at that. Fits right back in. Nobody will know except that I recorded it. Okay. Let's go ahead and look at storage. Come on. Oh, I already messed it up. I'll fix that later. Okay. Zoom out a little bit. See the whole tray. There you go. Let's go ahead and start with these. So it looks like, and I don't know what red versus yellow versus blue is. We have individual bags for them, which is interesting when they have their own space as well. Kind of a you know, that like locks in. So the tray does lock in. Let's see how it locks. So it locks based off of these grips right here. So you see this and you see this, and then that'll wedge right in between all of these so that it has to kind of go through over that little lip and then locks in. And it seems, again, very, very secure. Additionally, this is not cheap plastic. It is semi-translucent, as you can see, but it holds its color quite well, and it like doesn't really crinkle at all, which is quite nice. All right. Now, these get a bag, but these do not, and I don't know what the difference is, but wow, look at that. All right, we're going to have to zoom in. We're going to have to. All right. So looking at this, there's some weird black stuff on there. The texture on here is really nice, actually. There's a slight texture here that is a little too small for a wash, but it's still appreciable. The mold line that goes right down the middle is noticeable, but not terribly. That being said, this light color won't show it as well. In fact, this light color won't show detail as well, period. And so that's why sometimes if you think a miniature is bad and it's a light colored, I suggest actually like putting a gray primer on it or something like that. This is actually an imprint. It's not quite flat. I don't know what the purpose of that necessarily is, or if they're all like that. Are they all like that? Yes, they are all like that. So it just happens to be what it is. That being said, this looks really nice. I like the like kind of ribbon design on here. That's cool. Looks like they're all the same there. Otherwise, a lot of 3D tokens. I'm probably not going to take them all out. But let's take a look at some of them. This definitely is nice and premium, which I appreciate. There are some tags, as you can see, right here. However, a quick kind of run of your blade would catch those, no problem. And the texture here is incredibly good. Do you hear that? Oh my gosh, that is nice. Oh, double-sided. And even the sides kind of have a little design in them in two spots, it looks like. Yes. Very cool. I like those. Looks like you get a few of them, and again, they're all in individual bags. I'll probably actually take them out of the bag and collect. I collect bags. I tend to do that just because when a game doesn't come with bags, I like to have something that's like just the right size. So I'll take these bags and I'll repurpose them. This is not one you want to step on. That would hurt. You'd be crying out like a little baby. That being said, this is really, again, this is so great. Definitely a bear trap or a person trap. And then again on the back, it shows, I'm guessing the wound count. I don't know if you flip it over or what, but either way, again, quite nice, quite thick. I would say what that rim right there is maybe 2 millimeters. So it's quite decent. And then we have a whole bunch of these tokens. I'm not going to go and take them out, but they're a little bit skinnier and just have, again, more and more stuff. It looks like here's some more of different tokens as well. Kind of a mix. Again, I'll take them out of the bag and we'll take a look at them. Or I'll store them. You know, nice. All right, and the lid's back on. It's safe to go. Next one. See, this is why I didn't take them out. I was going to be able to show you here. So what's rough here is what keeps it in place, because it's not a pressure thing from a rubber band, is these little lips right here. And this will scratch the paint off the rim of a painted miniature like nobody's business. Nobody's business at all. It's comparable. So there is that. This is just more of these. And then this is a cool thing. This is a first player token. It actually looks kind of metallic, though it's not. It's definitely plastic. Great. I mean, this is cool, though. This would be great painted. I like that. But otherwise, just kind of piecemealing it together. An interesting storage solution for sure. Definitely unique here. Cards. Let's take a look at some cards. That being said, I'm assuming it'll fit their sleeves. If you're buying third-party sleeves, you might need to look out a little bit. Sometimes those have a higher margin than others around the card, and it looks like there's clearance, but not a whole lot. Actually, we'll go in and sleeve one. How about that? We'll test it out. Okay, it would have been nice to have those pull tabs. Those are really nice. Now that I started getting those in a few of even prototypes, actually, those little red things you pull are always very nice. Okay, so. Right off the bat, I can tell you this is a board game card, and that it's very skinny, and almost feels like plastic, right? That being said, the sides, again, are unsealed, so that is just the cardstock raw right there. So if this got wet, it would definitely get damaged. And there's actually a little bit of roughness on the card on the top here. You can kind of, do you see that? See how I'm already kind of scratching that away? You see, now there's a nice white line. As you pick these up, you're going to constantly do that. Eventually, these cards are just going to have this ugly white rim pretty much all the way around it because they weren't sealed. And so you can just kind of rub away at them. It looks like they're all double-sided. It looks to be the different ones. Oh, this is just the back, I'm assuming, because that just has a little blurb about them. And then this one has actual information. That being said, his eyes are different too. So perhaps... I forget. It's been so long that there are two different versions of them or whatever. I love the art, though. It does look nice. There's quite a bit of it, though. There's quite a bit of fluff as well, right? They can kind of cover it up a little bit. But it's nice and stylized. So skinny, unsealed on the sides, nice and colorful, big icons. Nothing too, like this is as small text as it gets. Nothing too text heavy. That's probably the biggest one I've seen so far. Maybe some of these. And again, some of these are just a little blurb on the bottom as well. But yeah, no, these are very pretty looking, that's for sure. Very kind of saddened by that little thing there. So honestly, I mean, they're selling the solution to the problem that they created, but sleeves would definitely help with that. In fact, here, let's find his sleeves. Where's his sleeves? Let's do this proper. Here it is. Let's do this proper right. Just want one. There we go. That's not one. That's two. Okay. And now, problem solved. So you can see very little space up there. And they do fit just fine, which is nice. It looks like there's not really a lot of room, though, because they will add... Oh, that's probably what this second half is for here. That and probably the expansions. Okay, take a quick look here. And then I think the rest is just minis. I don't know what we're going to do, just looking at minis. Okay. Come on, open up. There we go. There we go. All right, perfect. Okay, again, same thing with these. The skinniness is a little bit less of a factor on smaller cards because there's less area, between to kind of bend, but they are still very skinny. So what you want to do is sleeve them. Come on. Which way is which? There we go. So it'll look just like that. Perfect. Looks nice, looks nice. Okay with that. Actually, a little bit brighter. Do you see that? It's definitely a color difference. Kind of interesting. And again, fits a sleeve like perfectly, like it's just there. In fact, that might be pressing a little bit on the edge, which is kind of interesting. We'll see how that goes long term. However, there is room for it to grow, which is nice. I like it. All right. Let's look at some miniatures. Okay, first up, we have these yellow ones, and wow, look at that. Now, it is kind of funny that I think we unlocked 3, and so there's one kind of missing here, right? It's like, it looks like there was supposed to be something, but it's not there. Light colored minis, by the way, will not show detail as well. It just kind of tends to hide from the light. This is kind of interesting in that it looks like this needs to be like this. So I need to straighten this a little bit. I'll do some hot water treatment, just kind of bent in a little bit there. I don't know what the scale is here. What would you say this is? Maybe 45, 50, maybe 50 millimeter, perhaps? Definitely not 32. So this is attached right here, which is fine. So this is the only part that needs to kind of be straightened. But again, hot water will treat that just fine. Even though this is fairly hollow, as you can tell, it's actually still quite sturdy and thick. They have the Mythic Games logo right there. If you can just maybe barely see that, there you go, in the shadow there. Very, crisp lines everywhere. All of this looks nice. A little bit of glue from the assembly here. Tiny bit of gap. Honestly, this is assembled quite well. There isn't a big divot between his outside of his sleeve and the inside. Like if you see right here. So if you see right here, there's that little line there. And this, which is more prominent, doesn't really have that line, which is unfortunate, actually. This makes it a little bit harder to paint. It's almost like it should have had a lip and doesn't. This fire, though, looks fantastic, or whatever the magical stuff is there. Looks good. There's a little bit of a mold line you can see coming across here. Maybe you can see again. I know it's very bright. These minis don't show up the best. They'll show up better the other ones. These feathers look good. Honestly, everything about this, though, is nice and crisp. There's not a whole lot of flash anywhere. This is kind of interesting. So you see how skinny his like robe is, and then look how thick his robe gets. That's actually really funny. Because they have to make it like go all the way down. And so it looks kind of silly, in my opinion, that his robe just went from like right at the lip there. Just kind of a weird design choice. Otherwise, though, this looks good. I like the hair. It looks good too. Facial features actually has a furrowed brow. There's actually a line there. He does have cheekbones, lips, and like 2 lips even, and a chin. Very well detailed miniature. The size, of course, helps as well. And again, if you don't appreciate how this looks out of the box, go ahead and prime it and just gray real quick. You'll appreciate them a lot more. I promise. They'll look better. All right, they just kind of fit loosely in there, partially because of their shape. Unless, of course, I'm putting them in backwards. Is he supposed to be like that? Maybe. I don't know. Whatever. He's over there now. All right, we got 2 more of those. Let's look at this one. Look at those fingers. Actually, all look great. You see the separate individual finger here. This is something you never see Awakened Realms hardly ever do. They almost all have mitten hands. And that's why I comment about that, because I really appreciate it. It looks much more natural when the fingers are separated. Like 2 can be together, that's fine. But it just makes it seem like, look how much more lifelike that hand looks than any hand in either Fields or Tainted Grail or anything like that when they have the mittens. Like I call them mitten hands because it looks like they're all there. They have a thumb and a massive fingers. These all look really, really good. Even here, the thumb curled up like that is really neat. There is a little bit of oddity softness right here where they filled it in a little bit. It just doesn't quite sell itself well, but pretty close. Again, I don't know what the variance is here. So you see here, you have this nice lip where you have this, it's surrounded and it looks like it goes in. And then here it's completely flat. What happened here? What happened here? Why is this flat like this? Why are these flat and this one has this nice sculpt? Again, nice sculpt and flat. I don't know. That's actually kind of frustrating. Just because, again, this is much harder to make look good. Like you can try and just kind of edge highlight in something and then put this as like black or a darker color of it, like it's recessed in. But at that point, you're trying to play visual tricks because it's not sculpted like it should be. I don't know why they're not all like this. This is nice. I mean, yeah, it's just kind of unfortunate. So his robe stays pretty thick the whole way, so that's all right. It's a little skinny here and it gets a little fatter there. There's definitely like kind of like molding it in. The detail on the robe is good. The hat and horns the horns especially look great. Again, I see the bottom of a nose and I see actual lips and an actual chin and an actual neck shape. It's not just a cylinder going up, which is quite nice. I don't know what all this black stuff, I don't know if it's coming off of me or what. And just a cool pose and a cool design, right? Very, very cool. I like her a lot. And the last one here is a lot thicker, this dwarf guy. This is kind of interesting that this is flat here, right? I don't know why they reinforced that. Perhaps because of the hammer, I'm not sure. Also, the hammer is not glued there, but it totally could have been. That being said, it seems to be sturdy enough anyway, which is nice. Maybe it's a slightly bent, but nothing really to do much about that. If you notice, I haven't commented too much about mold lines because there's not really a whole lot. They tend to, hold it pretty good. These chains are huge, but they work and they look nice. The writing on here, as big as this miniature is a little faint right here, but otherwise okay. Again, we're getting really thick robes here, and there's a little bit of an assembly here that will need to be a gap filled. It's just that little hand, but otherwise quite good. He has a different styled hair, by the way. So if you remember this guy over here, you see how his sculpted hair is, and then you see his hair is much more cartoony like. I don't know if different sculptors did them or what, but that's kind of interesting. Everything here is exaggerated. These giant belts where he's holding an anvil back there and stuff. They look cool. I like them. All right, let's look at some of the characters. All right, and here we got quite a few. Let's go ahead and start here. As you can see them a lot better when they're gray. They just tend to hold detail better. So these are very smooth wings. I forget if they're mechanical or not, but they definitely don't have any texture at all. The eye reset here, this looks so good. In fact, he even has this sculpted eye right there, which again looks fantastic. Very, very nice. The fire on here looks exquisite. A tiny bit of bend, perhaps, if you see there. It's kind of banana curve a little bit there. The back is sculpted and kind of pops out here. This is nice. I like that this is all the way down there because it actually helps it to stand a bit better than just having the rim. That being said, it's quite thick. The sculpted part here is, I like that they're sculpted. This grass looks good here, but here it's just weird how it's straight up and down like that. Like that doesn't look like grass to me from the side, but then from the top it does. Right, so it's like they're trying to do grass, but then it's too tall, or I don't know. It's a weird like this right here. I thought it was all rocks, but I think it's supposed to be grass. Just very oddly sculpted. Mold line. There's not a whole bunch of little pore spot there. A tiny bit of a mold line. Assembly is actually quite good. You can kind of see a little bit there, but otherwise looks good. Shoulder pads. Oh, these are great. These are nice. These are nice. Next up, we have the freaking heavily armored dwarf. Love his hair and the little bands there. And again, same kind of style hair, actually. The one bummer thing about this is because he's pre-assembled, painting him, like painting in here, and then painting, good luck painting in here. Like, what the heck are you going to do with this? You could freeze him probably and pop him off his base, which looks like he's glued in quite well. The grass here, by the way, looks a lot better. This is getting a little silly, but this shorter grass looks great. Rocks are very sharply detailed. These cracks in the base look amazing. I really like these. Very smooth base, by the way, and they are actually quite tall. Like they go all the way up to here at some points, which is kind of odd. But yeah, no, he looks great. And last one in this one is the Snake Lady. These points ended up quite well. They're actually look pointy. They're not like so fat and round. This right here is where it's at. That is great texture again. So again, the grass kind of throws me off. And maybe this is a style I need to get used to, but these scales look amazing. The rope here looks kind of like a rope. I think there's supposed to be some like twirl here, like it's twisted. If so, it doesn't really work out there. Mask looks great, nice and smooth. Honestly, mold lines are incredible. So there's a mold line here technically, but it's very hard to see. Very hard to see. A quick trim of that will be just fine. And of course, all these faces I think look great as well. This is, again, another great looking mini. And again, they could have glued it here and they did not. And it still is holding fine. All right, that's it for that tray. We have 3 more to go. Tray number 2. 2 more to go. Go ahead and start with the kind of orc guy here. I love how big like his shoulders are. It's freaking hugely muscular. This is a much better rope. This rope works. Even this rope works. The chains are quite good. They're filled in, which is kind of a bummer, but you'll paint them like black or something like that. It'll look okay. Sword, again, very good. It comes to a nice point. There is a mold line across that, but that's a little bit noticeable, but a little bit of cleanup will do just fine on that. I love the fact that he has teeth. They're very small, but they're there. Very stylized hair here. And the assembly is not quite perfect, but pretty close. There is a mold line here. This guy probably has the most amount of mold lines that I've seen. And by the way, notice his foot is way up here. He's only attached here. And yet, he's not like super bendy or anything. He's still has the center of gravity good. All of that actually ends up quite well. And I like how he's a little bit higher on a hill. It's almost like he's running downhill at you. And again, assembly here as well, but I think it works out okay. These are nice. Nice. Next up. This is like one of my favorites because I love wolves. And again, he's white, which is super cool too. And then I think he has like this really bright red sword. The sword is bent, as you can see. So this is definitely PVC. I don't even believe there's... If there's ABS mixed into it, it's definitely to a lesser degree than I'm used to. Nicely sculpted tail. But it'll straighten, okay? That being said, it's pretty thick. Those will take multiple passes. The bone armor he has on him is also great. Just the general pose is nice. I like this guy. His cape is not actually too thick, which is nice. And I like the kind of 2-layer approach there. Very cool looking miniature. Last one on this one is the little girl in the like crazy chameleon lizard thing, which again looks super cool. I like it. The detail here is really, really good. Really good. She's actually quite secure on there. I was kind of worried because of these little contact points here, but this helps as well. The fact that this is glued on there pretty good. Crazy hair. I like the skull on there as well. And again, sculpted eyes and a little nose, even puffed up cheeks as she's blowing the blow dart. And look at that. They even drilled in the, or somehow got in the little hole there, which is actually quite nice. All right, moving on to the next one. That's really loud. If I can fit her in. There we go. Maybe like that. Is that it? That's how I'm going to do it. Take that. All right. Oh, there's actually one more after this. Here, again, wonderful billowy cloak here. It's like the first thing you notice in these gigantic kind of swords, which again are bent. I'm definitely going to have to do some hot water treatment on these. to get them straight. This, though, the tiger with the orange and the flowing, kind of almost like a Ronin-like look, very cool, cartoony tail, actually. There's definitely a cartoonish kind of vibe to this. I love this cape, though. Love how it's flowing there. And his stance is good, too, with his arms down and kind of just crossing his swords, just maybe relaxing for the first time, or just coming up a hill to it would be great if he was almost on a hill, but this is great. He looks awesome. Very, very tiny eyes. Very tiny, but they're there, and they're sculpted. I don't know what this is. This is detail I can't really comprehend. Be nice to have that maybe a little bit more defined. But otherwise, looking good. Next up, we got the pirate. Of course, look at the chain. Look at that chain. Oh, he's got an anchor. That's awesome. And again, it's totally loose. They didn't glue it. I might end up, after painting it, gluing it there just so it's really secure. But it's secure either way. Love the fact that he has this very ornate chest strap to him, like he's walking around with his treasure. The skulls here are a nice touch. How the coat makes it look like he's wearing a hat is, I think, a nice touch. The bandana's cool. I love his weapon, by the way. It's kind of like jacket spear thing. And again, minimal bend there. And again, they didn't glue it here. You know, they could have. I really like him. I think he looks great. Very smooth armor. Oh man, look at the skull thing here. That's cool. Love the eyebrows on that. Very well designed. And the last one here, and we're on our final one, is her. Now, it's very common for the sorceress to be floating. That being said, she is floating quite high, higher than most, and it helps that she's bending her legs a little bit. That being said, her feet look tiny, and it looks like there's, I don't know if she's wearing, I'm assuming she's wearing some kind of like slipper boot thing of some kind. The flow here over the grass looks cool. I like it. The braided hair attached to the regular hair, very, very nice. I like seeing that as well. It changes the texture a little bit. Different spell effects look good. This looks quite similar to the other one we saw. The statue, very nice looking. All right, guys, I think we have three more miniatures to look at, and then we are ready for the expansion. Look at that. His like jawbone thing is so funny. Oh, I didn't notice he had a robot leg. That's cool. Just one robot leg. Again, the fact that he's coming off the base. Look at this. When he's on the, coming off the base every which way, it makes it seem like this is just, instead of a platform that's framing him, it makes it seem like this is just part of the world that he's in. And I love that he's stepping up to, kind of almost climbing up to it, which is why he's pulling that, his arm down to kind of almost pull himself up. Very, very cool design. This whole hand thing is cool too. Huge spikes, not a lot of mold lines. He looks great. Next up, we have the obligatory crossbow, and look at that. It does have the actual bow part of it, which is quite rare, so it's nice to see that. Definitely bracing. Looks like she's almost dashing because she's not really bracing. This assembly right here is kind of bothersome to me. I'll have to fill that in, I believe. It's a little too in there, but otherwise, I think this looks good. There's a bear trap right here, so you could paint that the same way. That being said, it looks to be a different scale. Let's see if I can confirm real quick. Looks different. Okay, let's find out if that's the same scale or not. Because it will bother me if it's not the same scale. I like seeing it there. I just want it to be the same. Yeah, so definitely smaller. There could be multiple sizes. Granted, I'll give them that. And in fact, it is a little bit of a different design as well. It's just a little bit more simple than this. I'll give it a pass because it's actually a different design. So it's obviously a different sculpt. But theoretically, stuff matches size. Otherwise, again, the braid looks great. Oh, here's another one here. And again, this is smaller as well. I love these cracks. It's going to take a wash so well. So she's like surrounded by traps. Very cool mini. By the way, as big as this box is, Look how much space they can waste. Now, it's not super wasted because the person will sit in there. It's just funny that, you know, they have all these big trays. Assuming it goes there, which is fine. So the next one on top will fit in, right? Even if they don't need it all. This guy, again, super well posed. So he's like on his tail, floating up in here, but kind of in a crouched pounce position. Exaggerated hands. A different, it looks like he slammed it down, actually. It looks like he slammed in these rocks, just kind of splayed out like he hit it really hard, which again is also super cool. Mold line right here is a little bit more obvious than normal, but I do like the rocks here also. It looks super cool. All right, that's it for the core box. Let's move on to the expansion. Before we get to the expansion, let's go ahead and open this, because this is exciting, because I don't know exactly what's in this. It's something heavy. Oh, it's not labeled. Just more. Did we get more? No? What is this? Is this an extra one? Did I forget. I forget what all's coming. Yeah, so these are just an extra pair of them. That's right. I remember you could actually order an extra pair. So I got 3 more. Unfortunately, they don't come in a nice tray. All right. So now we have the Force of Nature, which is going to give us 3 more, interesting enough, renders and not painted miniatures. Again, I actually would have preferred the painted miniatures myself, but that's all right. Okay. Very careful here. Careful as it can be anyway, and still be me. Come on. Got it. All right. Safety first. All right. Dig in, final box. This has been quite the trip, guys. This was definitely, for as small of a game, for Mythic anyway, that Super Fantasy Brawl was. This was a lot. This was a lot. All right. Open this up if I can. Try anyway. Come on. Oh, this is a hard box to open. There we go. All right. Again, super sturdy box, by the way, and this looks much better glued in all 4 corners. We have a tiny little leaflet. It says what it comes with, and it's also in French, so they just have the one version. And we have a unique tray for them, where it comes with their cards. So the cards don't have to go into the core box, and then their miniatures. I'm not going to look at the cards because we've already seen it. Looks like there's English and French. Let's just look at the minis. Wow, again, love that he's coming off the base here. Very weird that he has hands for feet. It kind of freaks me out a little bit, but I dig it. I'm okay with it. The assembly here could have been a little bit better. You notice there's actually quite a big gap here. Like quite a big gap. Which I would have liked to see, fit a little bit better. Same with around his neck. It almost doesn't need to go maybe slightly back. Yeah, see, look at this. Like, this is obviously, it should have been on there, and it's not. And this whole line here as well. Great detail, though, but the assembly on his head is actually rather unfortunate. I love, by the way, that this is wrapped back like he's just started to swing it forward, so he's in a forward motion. This right here gives you he's not reaching back, he's actually pulling forward, which is super cool. I like seeing that. Same with this, he's pulling that up, and again, all that just based off of some simple motion. Ah, yes, the wolf companion. I'm always dig that. I love wolves, so very cool with that. Oh, this is like a weird snake thing. What was this character? I don't remember that. Oh, that's right. This is because of the Force of Nature. This is a poison ivy kind of chick. That's right. These are vines. Very cool flowers. Very interesting, unique hair. Definitely flowing out. These will look so great painted. They really will. Oh, a little flower there. Interesting. Very unique. Each of these characters stands out, that's for sure. And finally, this was This was the cool guy here. Look at that. Look at that. So he's like got these lanterns that he's dragging. He's got this like gargoyle thing. Now you can see some stress points here and here where the miniature has been bent a little bit. That being said, it looks like it held up quite well, which is nice. There's actually a pore spout here you'll want to trim. That being said, this whole like smoke thing coming on is really cool. These weird tendril hair stuff is interesting. The kind of soulless face is cool. Another maybe lantern there. Maybe was that a tiny shield? I don't even know what that is. Either way, a very, very, very cool miniature. I think he looks awesome. Okay, that's it, guys. That's it for me. Again, I will be reviewing this. If you've played the game, let me know what you think of it. If you got a favorite team or anything like that. I'd love to kind of either learn strategy or discuss strategy with you. Really dig the sword solution for this. It's very modular, so you only have to take out what you need, which I think is quite nice. All right, with that, I'll let you go. You guys have a great rest of your weekend.